Tom says that God uses evolution.
Cool. How come we don't?
Okay.
Well, I think about evolution, from here, and I don't know that much about it, so forgive me if I say a lot of things wrong here. But I had a couple ideas of my own about evolution, because they always say
Do
evolution.
you have any scientific expertise in the field of evolution?
Absolutely not.
Then why would you have then why would you have thoughts of your own, and why would they matter to anybody?
Well, that's why I just want to ask a question or a couple questions.
Okay. Well, if I had my own thoughts about quantum mechanics and I have no expertise, should anybody give a shit what my thoughts are on quantum mechanics?
Probably not. No, absolutely not.
You say God uses evolution. I just want to know how we can know that you're right, that God uses evolution.
Yeah, Tom, are you essentially saying that evolution is compatible with God, or are you saying that you can make the positive claim that God definitely was behind evolution?
Well, I think God could have created evolution, to do it, but that's not really my point.
So
that was just part of my thought process, sort of thing.
So your thought process, just okay, go ahead. I'll let you ask your question. Go for it.
Okay. Because they always say, evolution from natural selection. And in my mind, I always think that evolution from natural digestion might be a better concept than evolution from natural selection. Because it seems like over the last 100 years,
I'm going to play chess.
When humans...
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was talking to producer.
Because, even the human beings, that we have changed over the last, let's say 100 years, we got taller, bigger, whatever. It's not necessarily from fighting off warriors, so to speak. It's more from what we eat on a day-to-day basis. And, our diet has changed. So we don't really evolve from natural selection. We evolve more from natural digestion. And I just wondered if the scientific, community has thought about that, or has studied about it, for the last couple of years.
So, in your mind,
right?
Can you tell me what evolution means? What do you believe evolution to be? Biological evolution.
I think everything has changed over the 4 billion or 5 billion or whatever many years, the Earth's been here for whatever reason. But evolution is always taught as evolution from natural selection, like things were fighting off things, they got bigger, or they had to fight off something else to do this or whatever.
Why do you think that evolution is involved with fighting? Have you taken aboard the notion survival of the fittest? Do you think that
exactly?
So
that sort of thing,
so what do you think natural selection? You think natural selection has to do with fighting,
or just surviving? Where I think evolution might be more just from digestion of what different, organisms they have eaten, over the last 5 billion years. We didn't get the way we are because we had to fight off or, select. It wasn't a natural selection; it was more of just what we ate.
So I feel like. Let me ask you this: does evolution have anything to do with common descent in your view?
Common descent, as far as humans?
Do you know what I mean when I say common descent?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, so common descent is a very important part of evolution, and that is that all life on Earth has evolved from the same common ancestor, right? If you go back far enough, carrots and fish have a common ancestor. Humans and birds have a common ancestor. Again, if you go back far enough, right? So basically, the diversity of evolution describes the diversity of life on Earth, not why life is here, but why it's diverse. So that's a very important half that you seem to not be paying attention to, because of course, no scientist would say that eating seeds versus, eating something else, gave someone wings versus, gave them gills. This is a very important part of evolution that you seem to not be paying attention to. It seems like what you're trying to explain is, in the recorded history that we have over the last couple hundred years, that humans perhaps have gotten taller or gotten more healthy and those kind of things. I get why you might suspect that, but that is really the last 100 years versus the billions that came before that. I think you would agree is rather irrelevant, right? Like it doesn't speak to the fact that humans may have gone from an average of 5 foot tall to an average of 6 foot tall has absolutely
Exactly.
nothing to do with 4.5 billion years prior to that, right?
Right. That's why I always go, I'm thinking that it's more digestion than it is anything else. So it should,
What?
So what's weird is
studied.
Go
ahead, Matt.
I'm a breeder. I'm a breeder. We have 30 species of reptiles. I can tell you that even if I didn't know anything at all about evolution, there is no reason to think that what my reptiles eat in any way impacts the phenotypical or genotype of their offspring. It's Mendelian genetics pretty much down the line. You take an albino and breed it with a non-albino, and you get no albinos, but everything's heterozygous for albinism. There's nothing about whether you're feeding it rats or mice or ASFs that determines what the offspring are going to look like. The natural selection just means nature. It could be that what is selecting against certain things is their diet. If you are a species that eats and has offspring that likes to eat poisonous things, you're less likely to have offspring that continue on. And so we are the descendants of the species of the ancestors that didn't eat poisonous things. Yes, you can eat things that impact the individual's health, but there's virtually nothing you can consume as part of your diet that is going to fundamentally change your genes that are then going to get passed on to your offspring. This gap in understanding about evolution has not only led you to, not really understand what natural selection is, but it's like you picked a random word that sounds similar, like evolution by means of digestion.
Well,
No, because individuals don't change, populations change. And the change is random changes in the genome, and natural selection then evaluates that, not as a thinking thing, not as a process with a goal, but either you have evolved to fit in the environment that will have you, or you haven't. And if you haven't, you're done and you don't get to have offspring.
yeah. You say, we don't pass it on from genes or from one person or one generation to the next. And why are humans
What?
so much bigger now than we were,
Um,
75 years ago?
I did not, I don't know what you think I said, but we absolutely pass
Okay.
our genes on to our offspring. That's what I just got done describing. The change
I
in
thought you
humans
don't.
over a period of time is due to a number of environmental pressures, but it's not diet, because your diet doesn't change your genetics.
Tom, let's we're neither of us are Matt or Forrest or Erica, so
There.
Yeah.
you and I we're incredibly far apart on our understanding of evolution. I feel like Matt and I are closer to understanding it, but we are not experts. So, but I
Oh,
want
are
to
you a
get to
mammal?
this. Let me no, but Tom, let me ask you this. Let's say you are 100% correct, and human evolution is entirely related to our diet, and that's the only driver. What does that have to do with God?
Well, if God, I'm a believer. Well, I'm a knower. They always say some people believe,
Really?
some people don't. Some say they don't know. Some people actually do know. And they always leave that
How
fourth
do
one
they
out. It's
know?
always believe, don't believe.
Why?
Well, it's
No, hang on.
extreme.
Why are we spending any time on evolution at all when you not only claim to believe there's a God, but you claim to know there's a God? How can we know there's a God?
You probably can. So,
Well, we
I'm
probably
sorry.
can't. Then how do
Right.
you know something that we can't know?
Because I had an experience. So,
What
and
what
to
what is
my,
this experience?
but
What is
that's my
this
own experience.
experience, and why can't I have it?
That's a good question. I'm not sure why the supernatural would pick one person and not the other, I'm not sure. But apparently I must have did something good in my life and I was chosen.
Really? So you're
But
better than us. That's the reason you know and we don't. You're better than us. That's cool.
I didn't say better. I just said I might have did something
Well, you're
that
saying you've
deserved
had
it.
an experience. You're saying you've had an experience that we can't have, and it's because
Well, I
you
don't know.
did something right. So you're better than us.
I didn't say better. I never said that.
You didn't. I
I just
know.
said I
I
was
don't need you
chosen.
to tell me. I don't need you to. I don't need you to tell me what word you didn't fucking utter. I'm talking about the concept, not the word. You seem to have difficulty with concepts.
I would never say I'm better than anybody. Absolutely not.
Eh,
But you
But you
you
did.
think you earned you earned a revelation where Matt and I have not earned the revelation.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I just
Well,
said
I'm still
that I had a
wondering.
revelation.
Okay, how do you know? How do you know that your revelation confirms a God?
If you did what I mean, I can't explain it. I don't want to try to explain it,
Okay.
but
I don't know why you
yeah.
called then, so I'll bow out now because I know Paul
I was
has
more
good
about the
questions. I don't I'm bowing out now because I know Paul has good questions and I am now completely disinterested.
Well, no, my question, I did actually care how you related God to evolution, but similar to Matt, we want to know what you believe and why. And you now claim to know something, and you
Yeah,
say that you
exactly.
know something because of an experience. Is this the Christian
Right.
God that the experience revealed to you? Like, did this experience specifically point out Christian God?
Not necessarily. No, not at all.
Okay,
I didn't
so
really.
am I correct?
I don't think.
Am I correct in saying that you identify as a Christian though?
Not necessarily. No, I
Okay,
never
so
read the
you
Bible or anything.
just so creator. You never read the Bible. Okay, so you have a general vibe about a creator God.
Well, for what my experience was, if he did that to me, then he knows pretty much everything that you're thinking and everything Matt's thinking and everything everybody's thinking. So yes.
Prove it.
Okay. So that's my experience. Like I said, I didn't really want to talk about all that, but I
Oh,
was talking
So
more about it.
you
so
want to talk more
you're
about something you don't know anything at all about than the thing that you
Exactly.
do know something about that is the whole fucking purpose of this show. So instead of calling in to defend your belief, which is the whole reason for this fucking show, and you now
Right.
claim to know it, you'd rather not talk about
Exactly.
the thing you know. You want to call in to talk about the thing that you don't know anything about by your own admission. Are you calling just so
Well,
we can educate you?
yeah. Well, I like
Well, that's
thinking
not
about
the
evolution.
purpose of this
Oh,
fucking show. The purpose of this show is for you to call in and educate us on how we can know that
right.
there's a God.
Yes. It's hard to prove. You can't prove it. But
I'm not asking you to prove it. I'm asking you,
okay.
how can you demonstrate? Can you tell me what happened to you that convinced you?
I was shown miracles. So,
What, like what?
well, what love looks like.
We've talked
And
before
I talked
about
about.
this, haven't we, you and I?
I don't know if we have. Who is this? Is this? I'm not watching TV, so is this Matt?
Yes.
it is
Okay, Matt. I don't know if I've talked to you about it before or not, but
Cool.
there is
You've
a
shown
chemical
you've
composition
shown
of love.
love. What were you shown specifically about love? Because I've seen love. I've seen people experiencing love. I've experienced love myself. What was the revelation of love?
There's like a chemical composition that you can't see,
We
but
have
it's
talked about
super.
this.
No, no,
This
no.
this is
So
this
You
is
watched it. It was Forrest and someone
oh
else. You were watching.
oh I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. Arden has corrected me. I was wrong.
that's
you're a
So
social
what
Matt.
is the chemical composition of love?
he just showed me what it looked like. That's all.
No,
Or
no, no. What is the chemical? If
okay,
he showed you what the chemical composition of love is, you should be able to describe it.
I did. Yeah, it's like a clear, watery substance that you could.
No, no, no.
I
That's
can't
not a
between a.
that's not a chemical thing.
Right?
So, for example, C11H17NO3 is mescaline. We understand there's a lot of stuff about chemistry. I don't know how you can know that God showed you the chemistry of love as a watery substance when you clearly don't know anything about chemistry either.
But I know there was love between a woman and her child, and that's the love he showed me.
I, I'm aware that humans have experience and that a mother and child often have a bonding experience and an emotional
Exactly.
attachment that we call as love. But there's not a chemical for that. There's not a chemical formulation. And even if there was, that wouldn't in any way
Right.
prove there was a God who showed it to you. Why do you believe that
Well,
God showed you something that you can't then describe and that does not make sense to anybody?
you had to see it to believe it, I guess. But like I said, I didn't really want to talk about it. But
Okay. You know what,
you
Tom?
can't. You
I really
can't
don't want to talk to you.
scientifically. You can't. What's that? Scientifically, you can't. Are you still there?
I didn't ask you scientifically, Tom. I'm tired of your excuses. I have no interest in speaking further with you. My apologies to everybody for listening that you had somebody call in who God revealed something important to. They don't want to talk about it. You can't prove it. It's no big deal. It's all,
Well,
I know there's a God. Maybe I did something right in my life, but you guys can't do that. You're a waste of my time, Tom.
sorry, waste your time.
Thanks
But
for
I'm
calling,
glad I
sir.
got a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Actually, I shouldn't have said sir. I should have just said Tom because he wasn't willing to specify. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
that's true. I had heard this before with the chemical substance of love being watery. The thing is that if Tom would stop being so evasive, I think we could actually make some progress. Because the whole point of me asking questions isn't so that Tom can then answer with, "Oh, how can I prove it? Here's my proof." It's to get people to recognize that just because you had an experience, and I believe you had an experience, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean your understanding or interpretation of that experience is correct. You might have felt like there was a God that revealed to you something physical or chemical about love. But the question that we can't ever get to, because Tom is on defense and wants to talk about evolution, which he knows fuck all about, the point that we need to get to is, how do you know that it was God who revealed this to you? And why is God revealing to you the liquidy substance of love, whether you call it jizz or chemicals, and not revealing it to all the rest of us? Why is it that, you know, and God has decided to reveal something to you, and he does something that is unclear, confusing, and an absolute deepity. A deepity, by the way, is a thing that sounds really profound to people. Like, oh, God showed me the chemical formula for love, or the chemical nature of love. Okay. Well, but a deepity is, to the extent that it is true, it is absolutely trivial. And to the extent that it is profound, it is false. And so love isn't jizz or a goopy chemical or a watery substance. There are brain cognitive interactions, and we're all chemicals. I'm chemicals. I'm chemicals from what little hair might be on top of my head down to the calluses at the bottom of my feet. It's all chemicals. It's all chemicals in physics. But love is a label that we put on a complex set of human experiences. It's not one thing. It is not some substance out there. It's not ether. It's not. You've bought into a pseudoscience thing, and I reject your claim, because if in fact there is a call, or if in fact there is a message from God, I am unwilling to accept that a God could be so boring, banal, and confused as to send that sort of revelation rather than something that is useful and edifying to the world.